Hey guys, what's up? Underground Geek here. So, I had tweeted earlier that I was going to be reading some Hellboy books and I would do a video about it. And so here I am. And this is Hellboy in the BPRD 1954. Excuse me. And this is pretty cool. It's kind of confusing though because issue 1 and issue 2 are like completely different stories. So it almost made me think that it wasn't the same series because this is number 1 but there's no number 1 on it. Like I tried to look and I couldn't find it, but it was right in front of this issue, which is number 2, and it looks the same. So I assumed like it's same writer, artist, all that kind of stuff. So it's got to be the same story. But this is pretty cool because it almost seems like X-Files. Like every issue is a different story, so it's an adventure. And so I could just pick up issue 2 and not miss anything, and that's pretty cool. I mean, that makes it to where you can sell a lot more comics. So yeah, that was a pretty good idea. Now, it's written by Mac Mignola, but it's also written by the guy that did iZombie. Like they co-wrote it together, kind of co-designed it. So I thought that was kind of cool because I like the iZombie TV show, and it was based off the comic book, so that's pretty cool. I like that. There's a couple things I want to talk about though. This is issue 1, The Unreasoning Beast. You see a monkey on fire, and you see the Hellboy on fire, and you see this random picture of this dude. So you're kind of like, I don't know what's going on here. So this boy like, stuff's happening. The art's pretty cool, though. I don't like some of the art in the other Hellboy books, though, because it looks so rough and so thrown together to me. But this was pretty cool. I don't really like it when they do the almost like the tracing, But Hellboy looked kind of cool in this comic, so I'll give it up to him. So this is Hellboy in the Bureau for Paranormal Research and Defense, 1954. This is, so this says this is number 13, though. So it's very confusing. I don't know. Let's check this one right here. Let's look at this one and see what it says. It says number 12, and it's number 2. What? Maybe it's like they pulled it out of like the files or something, and this is like filed 13. But anyway, so this is a story by Mike Mignola and Chris Robertson. That's the guy from iZombie. Art by Patrick Reynolds, colors by Dave Stewart, and letters by Clem Robbins. Covers by Mike Huddleston. Okay, pretty cool. So this come out last year, like towards the end of last year. So we'll talk about that. And one thing I noticed, it said November, and this said October. Let's check this right here again. So is this like a one shot? I don't know. It's very strange. But anyway, we're going to talk about it. So anyway, he started out the story here, and the Bureau shows up on this family's doorstep. And they said, hey, we got a call about a disturbance, possible haunting. And the dad is just frantic. He's just ill and upset, and he says, there's a monkey haunting us. It's that dang monkey that the son used to play with. It was his brother's, which would be his uncle's monkey, and it's haunting him. They said, my brother died and the monkey died because the house burned down that they were living in, and it's out to get me. And I was like, that's pretty funny. That's a pretty funny story. So they're talking about the house getting burned down. I mean, he's very upset. And the boy's like, the monkey was always nice to me. And so then he's talking about how first he started hearing stuff and stuff was messing with him. Now he physically sees the ghost monkey, flaming ghost monkey, like bothering him at certain times. So that was kind of cool. And so the BPRD says that they're going to stay the night at the house, which I thought was kind of weird. They just show up. Nobody's really upset that there's a devil in their house. And I guess they've dealt with it a lot, and they're kind of used to it by now. Maybe they see him on TV. I don't know. But he's going to stay the night with them and keep an eye on things. So they change into the regular clothes. They're hanging out. Hellboy's hanging out on the couch. The partner goes to investigate. She's going to look around the house, and Hellboy's going to hang out on the couch, you know. So the boy comes back, and he to get his comic book, and he's reading Sheena, which I thought was really funny. And he says, you know, better go back to bed. And the boy starts telling everybody, you know, that he's been having headaches. And so we'll go into that a little bit later. So there she is looking around. She's trying to investigate where the monkey's been. She says, man, there's nothing going on. And then blam. She gets a vision. She sees everything. She sees the husband burning the house down. And it says, this is all your fault. You made me do it, Robert. You always wanted what was mine ever since we were kids. But you can't have her. Not anymore. And so he just burns the house down with a monkey in there. Kills the brother very violently. So now the partner's seen it. She runs to him. And I don't know why they can't draw her like a female. She looks just, gross. I mean, he looks more attractive than she does. And so she's telling him what she saw. And that's when they hear screaming. They run into the parents' bedroom. And the monkey is like killing the husband. Scratching him, biting him. All kinds of stuff's happening. And it didn't look that serious to me, though. I mean, he's just scratching him a little bit and just biting him a little bit. I mean, is it that big of a deal? And so he's trying to stop the monkey. It's not going to work. And Hellboy says, I think I know what's going on here. So he runs to the kid's room. And he sees what's happening to the kid. The monkey has attached itself to the kid. And it's using him to haunt the dad. That's why he felt hungry all the time and upset. Hey, check this book out here. It's Kingsway West, and it's written by Greg Pak, the guy that did Incredible Hulk. There's also another book I wanted to show you, now that I'm off subject here. Colin Bunn is doing another book. There's Tim Seeley doing Tarzan and Planet of the Apes, which sounds incredibly stupid. But Colin Bunn was doing a book. I guess I'll just have to talk about it later. I didn't see it, but I was like, Colin Bunn does like 50 books a year. That's why he does so bad. He's doing too many books. But anyway, so the monkey is going back into the kid, and that's when they notice something's wrong here. And this was very strange because they notice, you know, they talk about, hey, the dad died. And it's like, oh, okay. So the dad had found out about the affair that she was having with the brother, and, you know, killed the brother and all that happened, and now the monkey's come back and killed him. And I was like, he just scratched him. And he's dead? Curse scratch? Monkey's curse scratch killed him. So then they talk about how to help the boy. And they said there's an expert that they know in England that can help the boy, and they're going to have to take him there, but they'll have to take him there by himself. You know, the mom won't be able to go. And so that was kind of a hard moment for the mom to understand. But she's telling the boy's kind of like, what? What's going on? And then Hellboy says, you know, I was in England last year, kid. You're going to love it. And so that's kind of where it ends. So they're taking the kid to England. And I was kind of like, okay, yeah, it's a little bit of a cliffhanger. And that's where we end it. Well, then we get to issue 2. And same writer and all that kind of stuff. And we're a completely different story, okay? It says, in 1944, Professor Trevor Brutenholm witnessed the arrival of a strange creature in a crumbling Scottish church. He named the creature Hellboy. You know, that's the whole story, blah, blah, blah. Same writer and everything. But we start out, and Hellboy is like fighting Nazis. He says, this is a restricted area. Hold on, Chief. I don't want to. And at first, I was kind of triggered by this because I was like, oh, my God, Nazis. But, you know, that's Hellboy's whole shtick. And then I was like, oh, yeah, it's 1954. That's right. At least it's like it's not 2017 he's fighting Nazis, because I'd be like, oh my God, dude, really? But anyway, they're shooting at him. He's trying to fight them. You know, he's taking them out. He's doing pretty good. He's fighting them back, and he's doing pretty well until they get out the big zapper gun, and then he's like, oh crap. So he's trying to run from them. They're charging up the big zapper gun. They kind of hit him a little bit, and then they got another big zapper gun. So then they hit him with that one and renders him unconscious. And that was all part of their plan, because they trapped him and, of course, hooked him up to the machine. And what are they going to do? They're going to drain the Shakti out of his body. And apparently everybody has this energy in their bodies, but since he's a supernatural creature, he has a lot more concentrated of it in his body. So they're going to try to zap it out of his body to use it for their uses later. That's when we get the introduction of one of the commanders here, and he starts telling them about what they're doing. And then they start getting in this discussion, and he's telling them that, we're gonna get it out of you, blah blah blah. He said, "You Nazis, y'all never understand." And that's when we get kind of a confliction here, because he's telling them that, they feel like they're the true Nazis, because apparently there was a whole lot of dissension in the supernatural Nazi army. You had Rasputin and his group, and you had their group, another group, but they're supposed to be the real group. They're the Sonnenrad Society, the real occult, and they're the Order of the Black Sun. He's like, we're the real deal. These are all posers, man. They just read Thrasher magazine. And so then he talks about how they've been, getting all these supernatural things, trying to find something to help them win the war that they're still fighting, because technically they lost the war, but in their minds it's still fighting. And then they find a flying saucer, so that was kind of cool. And they said, the Russians stole the original flying saucer, but we were able to make our own versions of it, smaller, but we need something to power it, and that's where you come in. We're going to use your energy to power it. And he starts talking about, Roswell, when the spaceship crashed in Roswell, and he says, I can only assume that the Americans have attempted a saucer program of their own, doubtless with little success. And that's where Hellboy's kind of, because he's apparently had some dealings with that flying saucer of their own. So that's when we're talking about their fleet that he's made. Right there, that's the book that I was talking about. Cullen Bunn writes Conan. So he's writing Conan the Slayer. I'm like, dude, how many books you gonna write? Now you're writing Pumpkinhead. You're doing other books for Marvel. Like, holy crap, dude. No wonder your books are so mediocre. So they're talking more about extracting the DNA or the power and some of the side effects it has. And that's when he's giving his big Nazi speech, And Hellboy's listening this whole time. He's trying to take it all in. He's thinking of a way out, They're planning their whole apocalyptic takeover, and he's trying to get out. And that's when he said, oh, the extractor is ready, we can begin. And he says, oh, okay. And Hellboy says, that's the extractor, and it's pretty volatile. He says, oh, yeah, it's very volatile. And he's like, He's like, no, wait, no. And then he busts out, smashes the machine, and this is not good, because then the machine goes, kablooey, bam. And so from there, the BPRD have been looking for Hellboy. They've been trying to find him, and they get a hint that he may be out there, so they go to check it out. And there's Hellboy frozen like an icicle on the side of the mountain here. They thaw him out, and they start telling him that, hey, apparently that ship that you were in, which is only assumed would have been the spaceship that they were talking about earlier, you were at the North Pole, and then you ended up in the South Pole. You're in the Antarctic. You're not in the North Pole. And so the only thing that they could figure out is that you traveled through the Earth instead of around it, because you were there so quick. And so they were like, oh, okay, so, there comes a whole story for another book. And they said, what happened here? What's going on? Why is everything all destroyed? And he says, oh, bunch of Nazi flying saucers. I took care of it. The end. So that's where it ends. Pretty cool little book. Pretty cool little stories. I like it because, if this is one and that's two, even though it doesn't have on there, it could be a one-shot. I like it because then that means you could read each issue, just pick it up. Like you just pick up issue 8, okay, this is a different story. Mulder and Scully, okay, cool. That's more fun to me than being behind sometimes. Like, every book should stand on its own, but it's really cool when you do these multiple stories, because then every book really does stand on its own. And it gives you a chance to do different things. So that's kind of cool. But, all right, guys, tell me what you think about this story. Not that many people have talked about this book. They didn't really like 1955 because some people said it had a lot of SJW innuendos, but apparently in 1954 it's not as bad. So that would kind of give me a hoping to reading it. I may keep trying to find more issues of this because it seems kind of cool. But all right, guys, tell me, guys, what you think. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell so you don't miss any of the notifications. And if you feel like it, support me on my Patreon. They go towards original content. And all right, guys, have a great day. Underground Geek out.